Hello friends, welcome back to the online course on non-conventional machining or advanced machining processes. In continuation with my previous lecture about chemical machining, today we are going to talk about remaining parts of this chemical machining process. In part 1 we have discussed the introduction, then setup for chemical machining, and we were discussing about the steps to be followed during the chemical machining. So in that there are different methods for applying the maskants. Which are that methods? First is the cut and fill off method, then second is the screen printing method, and the third one is the photoresist method. Okay, so if you take the example of this, okay, here is the maskant coated area marked B. Okay, mark the area B, there is no maskant, and rest of the this portion has been coated with the maskant either by screen printing or cut and peel method. Now if you take the section of this particular one at AA, you see that the maskant layer is there. Okay, if you see in the last figure, maskant layer is there, and then here is the etchant will penetrate and start removing the material at these places, correct, because there is no maskant. So chemical reaction will takes place between this etchant and the workpiece material, correct. So it is clearly shown in this side view, okay, showing maskant filled workpiece and area to each. Okay, so this kind of masking can be done either cut and peel method or even by screen with the help of screen printing method. Same procedure is again explained for creating blind cavities. Okay, this is another example. This is a part to be milled. You can call it as chemical milling process, and then the part with the mask applied, you can see here, okay, here maskant layer is added, okay, or maskant has been applied all around the on this all faces. Then you are supposed to remove the maskant from this area where chemical reaction is to takes place. Then you can put this part inside the etchant part, right, and after that you can see that finally the part is machined to the desired depth and the desired cavity is obtained from this. So finished part with mask removed, and here is the mask remaining, this one. You remove the mask from the workpiece, then you will finally get the particular finished part or product. Okay, now again same procedure is shown here for the different kind of the parts. Here one important thing is there, that you know dissolution is taking place from top side as well as from the bottom side in other examples, okay, which I have explained. Here dissolution is taking place only from the top side. Okay, so if you take this figure, or with the help of this figure, you will come to know that if you see here clean workpiece is there. Okay, now you can dip the workpiece or spray the workpiece to apply the photoresist coating. And this is a third one, this is a third one method of applying maskant, that is a photochemical machining, where photoresist is being applied, and after that negative applied to the surface, where is negative will be there, which has been placed on the surface. Okay, negative applied to the surface. Okay, both the sides of the resistor will expose. Okay, now you can see here. Okay, here is the negative which has been placed on the surface, and it is placed on both sides. You can see top side as well as the bottom side. Instead of machining from one side, you can machine from both the sides, so that machining rate will increase and total time taken will be reduced. Now, after applying the photoresist, developed unexposed area of the resistor removed. Okay, this is a step. So you can see here, these are the area which the material will be removed. Then it is dipped inside the etchant bar, and you can see etched by the reagent. The material has been removed by the etchant from the both the sides, and you can see here also cavity that has been formed over here, and this is the final part that has been obtained. Okay, so what I mean to say here is that you can apply maskant by any of three methods of applying maskant, but your final aim should be to get workpiece of desired shape and size in a minimum time. Now, what happen, sometimes debonding takes place, and that means you have applied maskant, but somehow that maskant cracks on, or it is not properly adhered, and there is a way for etchant to go and react the workpiece through that particular area also. And if it happens, then you are going to get defective part, or okay, defective part. And because you are not planning, or you are not thought of removing the material from the particular area, okay, and because of debonding, the material will get removed. Okay, so one should be very careful, and one should check carefully that there is no cracking, no debonding of the maskant from the workpiece or on the workpiece, so that the material does not get removed from the undesirable area. Okay, and to ensure proper adhesion of the maskant on the workpiece, chemical cleaning is needed. Okay, so this is a very important point, because you apply maskant, if it does not get added to the workpiece, then it will be loss, and then debonding or demasking will take place, and the etchant will penetrate in through that particular area and remove the material from the place from where you do not want to remove any material. So if debonding takes place, then stray cutting will takes place. Okay, whatever I have mentioned just in the earlier slide, if material is being removed from the debonded area, okay, debonded area, you can see here also, okay, that will be called as a stray cutting. Okay, just like stray cutting in case of electrochemical machining process. Okay, so type of cleaning will depend upon, or is a function of, what type of maskant you are using, what is workpiece material, and what is depth of cut to which you are going to machine. So cleaning of porous material is definitely very difficult, because whatever liquid you are using for cleaning, it will penetrated inside the porous material, and it is not desirable. Okay, for higher material removal, rate, as I have shown you in the earlier figure, okay, uh, or in the setup of the chemical machining process, agitation will increase. Okay, and that agitation will increase the chemical machining rate, and heating of the etchant will also increase the machining rate. However, you have to control the temperature of the that etchant. Okay, otherwise lot of loss of etchant will take place and it will make the process uneconomical. Okay. Okay, and if you are agitating too much or heavily, that also may not desirable. Okay, so these points we need to take into account. Okay, so how to maintain higher machining or material removal rate is always a question mark as long as chemical machining is concerned. Okay, how to maintain higher material removal rate? Okay, because it is very slow process compared to the other electrochemical machining process. So what is proposed, or what is normally the practice, is that filter the etchant before recirculation. We have to filter the etchant, because etchant is not thrown after using once. It is recirculated as long as it can react with workpiece material, because it is quite expensive also. Okay, so it should be properly filtered before recirculating or before putting it into the container, and periodical addition of new etchant, that also needed, because it is always getting mixed with the reaction product. So it is always desirable that after a certain period of time, say 25% of the old etchant is taken out and 25% new etchant is added in that etchant. Okay, after some period of time. Okay, so that will keep maintain the strength of that etchant, so that material removal rate does not go down. Okay, so discarding some percent of used etchant, that is also necessary. Okay, again, material removal takes place in two direction. Okay, one is a downward direction and another is a lateral direction. Okay, while our objective is to have material removal rate only in downward direction, not in the lateral direction. But okay, but it is a part of the phenomena that is taking place. Okay, you can't avoid that material removal in the both the direction. Okay, and that we can't avoid it. So downward direction leads to what is known as depth of cut, and lateral direction is known as undercut. You can see here. Okay, downward direction of material removal is called depth of cut, and lateral direction is called undercut. And undercut is the function of depth of cut. Okay, undercut is the function of depth of cut, and it is a type of etchant, workpiece material, and etching time. Okay, so more the etching time, more the undercut, and you want to minimum undercut, because it is going to deviate or to give the dimension other than what you have designed the component. So while designing the process of chemical machining, you should take this undercut into the consideration. Okay, and there is term known as edge factor. Okay, edge factor. Okay, that is uh, that is given by undercut divided by the depth of cut. Okay, for uniform machining, do not allow to get a strap gas to be trapped in the etchant. Okay, and to avoid ununiform machining, gas bubbles should not be allowed to trapped inside. Okay, and after etching parts, that should be clean. Okay, so that mechanically you can clean that part mechanically or chemically. Okay, So this is about the chemical machining process. Okay, remaining part about this process we will discuss in next lecture. Okay, if you have not subscribed our YouTube channel, please subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to click on the bell icon for the notification. Thank you very much.
Hopefully you might have enjoyed the lecture. Then please do like the video and know your thoughts in comments. Please do share this video among your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. After subscription you can press the bell icon to never miss the notification regarding our new videos. Thank you so much.